Alright, hello and welcome to Killer Technique. So, I originally came up with the, I don't know, mediocre name before this gameplay was recorded, so I was kind of trying to fulfill the title of the game through my gameplay, in a way. So I was trying to play aggressively, get those kills, and as you'll see, I think I've achieved that goal. So this replay is featuring the new Teknique skin from the Season 4 Battle Pass. I just unlocked it today, so this is one of my very first games using it, and I have to say I'm a fan. It's got a little bit of color, but mostly it's rather plain, which is what I look for. So we've dropped Retail. This is one of my favorite houses, simply because it's so easy to access that top chest. And then there's usually a chest in the bottom. This time it didn't spawn. And then you're in close proximity to most of the houses, so that gives you control. So here we are trying to find this guy. It's a little bit hard for me to hear if people are outside or inside, so that's still something that I'm working on. So here we're just trying to figure out where he is based on his movement. So right now I'm thinking that maybe he's outside. I didn't hear that he was on just regular ground, like floor. So I'm just running around trying to make some noise. Here I go to open up the house a little bit. I'm trying to get that opportunity to shoot him. Then I start thinking maybe he's hiding in the bathroom because of his the noise that his reload makes, and I'm thinking that maybe shooting that wall will force him to move. And it turns out that we are correct. So as we jump up on here, he's sitting right there, unsuspecting. That is an awkward angle for him. And we take him out. So this nets us a pump, an AR, looks like a tac. So we've got a decent range of close range guns, which should be good. And then we're just building up some materials before we get into the next fight. So we're looting, stacking some shields. Unfortunately, this replay is not one that features the revolver, but hopefully there will be a video soon about the revolver, because it's a funny little weapon. So on our left here, we see an alien guy. And he was trying to pressure us, so we built a little bit, get that protection. And we're going to move in towards him. We're trying to stay aggressive. We see the explosive behind us, which indicates that he was trying to get us with it. Luckily he missed. If you look, it turns out he was not the one who fired there through the explosive. It was actually this next guy. So I built a wall to have something to build on and took him out. So I was trying to figure out what he was shooting at. I don't think I ever found out. If you look on the minimap, it does not seem to be... It doesn't seem like anything is visible, like anybody was there. So I guess he was just shooting the dead body of the guy that he killed. I don't really know. Maybe he thought he saw me, like hiding behind a tree or something, but I don't know, we'll just take it. So moving up on top of this house in Retail, we're looking for more shields, basically. So we go into a little bit of a lull here. It's not too much that happens, we loot traditional Retail. All the houses, all the warehouses. And then we move in towards this airdrop. So this airdrop, we decide to not mark. So what I'm thinking in my head is I'm fairly close to this airdrop, and I'm going to be taking it fairly soon. So I don't need to mark it because I'm close enough to be able to see it when it's on the ground. So if that airdrop gets opened, I'll be able to tell because there'll be no balloon. And I'll just work off of that. I won't gain anything from marking the airdrop because it'll draw more attention to myself before I have the guns. When I see this ramp on the left, I realize there's probably somebody over there. I'm not thinking that that ramp is old. I'm thinking that it's fairly new. And we headshot this guy. I don't know why my damage numbers are not showing up. Yeah, I really don't know. But, that's the price you pay for doing replays. So moving in over here, we do have a launch pad, which is always a pleasure to have. And Porta-Fort looks like a rocket launcher, so we decide to not take the rocket launcher. I get myself into a lot of trouble with them, and it's not something that I necessarily need in this stage of the game. I do have a sniper rifle, I do have an AR, I think I'm running 1 or 2 pumps, maybe a pump and attack. So I don't really have a place for it in my arsenal. I don't feel like it would add anything for me. So I'm opting to not go with it. So as we move in to the next area here, we're just casually looking around, not too much is happening. We get stuck against this truck for a little bit and we look to our right. Turns out there's a guy right there and we finish him off. So far we have accumulated a delicious 4 kills, which is not too impressive, but as you'll see, the kills will get more flashy as the game goes on, which is something that I think is important. So as we move into the circle, we're just doing some regular rotating, crossing the bridge, we're playing the edge of the circle a little bit. We want to force people to fight us. So that's why we're playing the edge so much. As we move in here, we take a few pot shots, but nothing too fancy. And we continue to play around the edge of the circle. Alright, moving up on this guy, we've already seen him about 15 seconds beforehand, so we're just moving up towards him. We know that he's probably going to be rotating towards the circle, so we're taking this opportunity to get behind him into the side, so that when he decides to cross, our shot's going to miss, and we can take him out. Some of those shots were very far off, simply because of how fast I was firing and the bloom, but fortunately he did not know which way we were coming from. So he hid behind the wrong side of the tree and did not build. So that wasn't really well played by me at all. It was more just he didn't build. Moving into this next section of gameplay, it gets rather dull again. There's a lot of gaps in a lot of these replays. Not because I'm not taking chances to kill people, but more just because there aren't people to kill. So moving in over here, we have a guy who's coming from, it looks like Dusty or Salty. So he's going to move up towards us. And so far we haven't seen him. We're trying to figure out where he is. He's over there. So he does have a sniper rifle, which is something we need to be careful with. And he is opting to build upwards. It looks like he's protecting his ramps. So that is very dangerous for us because we can't immediately break them and drop them down, which would be advantageous for us. You go for the shot, try and break him out. He does back up before we manage to accomplish it. His shot flies pretty close, so we decide to build a little bit taller and not peek as much. So there, we put that floor there because we're trying to decide if we want to launch pad. Turns out that he launch pads before us. We hit him for 67, he hits us for 117, we hit him for 73, and then finish him off with the AR. So the transition from the pump to the AR is especially important in situations when you know they're low on HP. So there, the first shot going into the second shot, both of those were pump shots because I wanted to be exposed for a very low amount of time. But moving from the second shot into the third shot, we opted to use the AR because he wasn't looking at us, and we wanted to secure that kill as fast as possible before he was going to get cover over his head, as well as the fact that the AR would give us sufficient cover by... the AR would eliminate his cover by breaking it. This next section of gameplay is one of my greatest faults. We go down to 6 people, and I just camp in a tower, which is rather unfortunate. We're watching people, we're looking around, but nothing exciting is happening for all this gameplay, and it's something that I need to personally work on, but I get very worried about, how risky is it, am I gonna die, so it's not something that I often go for. So we are not in the circle, so we decide to launch pad. We see some ramps getting built, we see those walls, he's building a tower on our left, and we figure he's probably looking towards retail because that's where the towers are, so we go around. We're building up and around this tower, and we make sure to stay slightly above him. He's looking the opposite direction, and that looks like a quick scope on the replay. We quick scope him real fast, and then we go to take his loot. Fortunately, this guy opens up our opportunities for the endgame because he does have 2 launch pads on his body, which really gives me the creative freedom to express myself in a bit of a sadistic way. So here we use one of the launch pads to move in towards this side. We're trying to find the other person. We don't know if he's here or not, but what we figure is all of this building must be for a reason. It's not just random building. So we're trying to look around. Maybe he's moved, maybe he's in that tower, and we see that he's actually right near us. So we look, and we quickly hit him with a sniper and finish him off. So now there's only 3 people left. And we're just waiting to see the next person. We don't have to play passive in this scenario. We do have launch pads remaining and stuff like that, so we're not restricted. But what we are waiting for is just that first sight of somebody so that we know where to fly so we don't end up off track. So we're looking around, we're just waiting, because we know the circle's going to move in. And as the circle closes in, we don't see anybody yet. We're trying to figure out if they're on top of the hill. You know, we're putting some ramps in case they use our launch pad. This is me ghost peeking? Not ghost peeking. I don't know what that's called actually. I don't remember. The thing where you edit the wall and we look through it. So as the circle moves in, we did see that next guy as we were looking through the wall. So we're going to move in towards our next launch pad because we're trying to figure out where he is. So if you look on the minimap, it looks like he's already moved under us by the time I start looking. So this makes it a little bit difficult. I'm trying to figure out if he's around the edges. You know, my timing is not fantastic here, where I should have known that he would already be up the hill by now, but I thought maybe he was playing it slowly, hiding under the ramps, something like that. So I was just making sure to check all my bases, because the circle is towards the corner of the mountain, so I don't really need to... so I can't really just stay on top and assume that he's going to be pushed out, because he could very well be under it and force me to move towards him. So as we look around, we're trying to stay active, we're trying to stay aware. What we do here is we actually break our tower a little bit to give us a little bit more vision. So trying to find him. We're looking in every possible spot for this guy. You know, we're putting some traps maybe, or whatever it takes. And as we look over here, put this trap. I don't believe it's right now, but very soon we're going to see him. I believe that was just his arm right there. I don't know if you saw it. But we're trying to find him. We're trying to eliminate him. So we decide to try and bounce some grenades and take out the structure under us. It's not important for that structure to exist, for our tower to exist. Because I believe the tower is connected to the brick tower where the launch pad is. So we're just trying to take out his area. We're going to proceed to continue that for a little bit. We're going to use that scar. We're going to take out some of the roofing. You know, we're trying to pin him. So as we break more and more of this, he's going to become more and more agitated because he doesn't know where we are. And if you look, you can see his legs under that ramp. I haven't seen him yet. He goes to fire a rocket at us. We narrowly dodged the rocket. He goes to move up towards us. We fire a quick scope and we miss. He goes to take out our buildings. We almost accidentally jumped down and he finishes himself. And we're just spraying some graffiti because this is Teknique, the graffiti street artist, and that is the Victory Royale. Thank you for watching Killer Teknique.